Vicky, a little behind the scenes preparing for today, and you should know if you didn't catch it from that video, if you're just tuned in halfway through it, it's a real good mix of professionals and students in the Canadore television broadcasting program that are here working behind the scenes today.
Volunteering their time for such a great cause. And, they really go above and beyond, making sure that everything is set and moving smoothly so that you can all enjoy the telethon with us.
So we appreciate all of their help, and we hope you do too. And time for more great music. Please welcome our next act, AngieNussey.
I wrote. It's called Warm Hands. It's about learning to communicate. My daddy had warm hands, rough and dirty like a working man, changing tires in a blistering storm. His hands would still be warm. I remember his leather mitts. He'd leave them on the living room chair. I'd stick my hands inside just to see if it was warm in there. My daddy had warm hands. Those hands fixed everything but a broken heart. When the family was torn apart, they were outside fixing cars. When we left him, his face went dull. We knew he loved us despite it all. Watched his kingdom begin to fall, while his hands tried to hold out those walls. My daddy had warm hands, rough and dirty like a working man, changing tires in a blistering storm. His hands would still be warm. They would steam in the cold air. I can still see him standing there, thick hat and a winter coat, wool scarf wrapped around his throat. My daddy had warm hands. And as I begin to age, I understand how things go their ways. Sometimes this world demands a little more than warm hands. My daddy had warm hands, strong and steady like a working man. Though they've grown much softer now, I guess time broke them down somehow. They can still fix everything, right down to my broken heart. Even when they're out fixing cars, I know they won't let me fall apart. My daddy had warm hands, rough and dirty like a working man, changing tires in a blistering storm. His hands would still be warm. They would steam in the cold air. I can still see him standing there, thick hat in a winter coat, wool scarf wrapped around his throat. My daddy had warm hands. Planting gardens in their backyards, engineers designing newer houses from the scrapyards, buyers who are slowly becoming more aware of the businesses who share in responsible ways. There are restaurants who won't support the scraping of our oceans, farmers treating livestock like they're one of God's creations, soldiers who can understand the innocence and truth in the face of every child. There is still hope, there is still light, there is still good in each and every one, even if it is a long shot. May I always be one of the million who still believe. finding ways of sharing wealth among all nations. Doctors seeking out affordable solutions. Companies who've stopped releasing their emissions, regardless of Kyoto, regardless of the cost. There are governments allowing cars to run on other fuels. Nonpartisan words spoken in the public schools. Children urging parents to seek peace among the races, peace among their neighbors, and peace within themselves. There is still hope. There is still light. There is still good in each and every one, even if it is a long shot. May I always be one of the million. One of the million. One of the million. There is still hope. There is still light. There is still good in each and every one, even if it is a long shot. May I always be one of the million who still believe. One of the million. One of the million. Thank you. I want to play one more song about change. It's a new song. It's not been recorded yet, but it's recorded today. In my weak times, I try to fill my ego with the memory of soaring like an eagle, but the truth was I was standing on the runway tying photos to my hands. When it came down to strength and perseverance, I had that. It never gave me clearance just to live right and understand the demons I was fighting for so long. I used to race towards it like it was a trophy. Thought if I could hold it in my hands, then all the world would see. But that's not me, not anymore. I have seen more than I should have. I have looked beyond that door, and that's not me. It never was. I don't have that battle in me. I don't hold that kind of love. I used to want to be some kind of achiever, so I could throw it in the face of all the non-believers. Step by step I'd put each one of them to shame, but I've forgotten all their names. It's a strange world. We walk around waiting for the one time we can stop complaining about all those small misunderstandings that lay heavy with each day. So we seek out any peaceful moment to cling to. It doesn't seem to pay rent, and we smile through. As long as we can stand it, we can carry on this way. I used to think that all the small shows were beneath me. Thought if I could make it to that stage, then all the world would see. But that's not me, not anymore. I have seen more than I should have. I have looked beyond that door, and that's not me. It never was. I don't have to wear a badge to say I'm worth that kind of love. I used to want to be some kind of achiever, so I could throw it in the face of all the non-believers. Step by step I'd put each one of them to shame, but I've forgotten all their names. I've forgotten all their names. And the only ones that remain are the loved ones, the ones who stand by when I'm broken, who never leave a promise unspoken, who love me just the same when I'm up and when I'm down. They trust me to do what's always best, and I'm lucky to hold them to my chest. And I can see now they only wanted me to feel happy with my life. I used to think I'd always have to stand alone, never realized how close I was to home. But that's not me, no, not anymore. I've seen more than I should have. I have looked beyond that door, and that's not me. It never was. I don't have that battle in me. I don't hold that kind of love. I used to want to be some kind of achiever, so I could throw it in the face of all the non-believers. Step by step I'd put each one of them to shame, but I've forgotten all their names.
AngieNussey, awesome. I'm always interested to find out about writing music. How does it come to you in a dream? Do you sit down and write? Do you put time aside? How do you do it?
I like to just write when I feel like it. So yeah, and sometimes I go 2 years without writing anything at all.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, awesome. Well, great job here today as well. Thanks. Why is the telethon? Because you've been here last year, and why is it important for you to come to this?
Yeah, I just think it's a good cause, and I love what we're doing here, and it's fun. It's fun to be part of it too.
Yeah. Well, it's fun for us to have you here. So thanks for coming again.
You see, every time I stand behind your piano, I feel like I should have, like a drink and just kind of lounge. I think so. This is great. We're really happy to have you on board again this year. And it's kind of nice when you go backstage and you see all of the different children back there and all of the different acts that are set to perform. They get inspired by things like this to see how deep you dig to write your own music. It's incredible.
Another thing, Vicki, that's very inspiring are the sponsors who help us out, whether it's with product or money or time. We want you to have a look at these people right here.